Welcome, everyone. We are so excited that you took some time out of your day to join us to hear more about specialized foster care and hopefully start considering whether or not you want to become a specialized foster care parent. A few quick things to get out of the way. My name is Lindsay Jones. I am the Specialized Foster Care Program Manager with Developmental Disability Services at Oklahoma Human Services. Um, we want you to know a couple things about our webinar. We are going to take about 15-20 minutes to kind of talk through some things, and then we'll have some time for Q&A at the end. If you are used to Teams, then hopefully you are familiar with the chat feature, and you can go into that chat. You can ask any questions as they come up during the presentation, and we're going to answer them all at the end, as well as give you an opportunity to ask some questions at the end. We also are recording this webinar like Ryan just mentioned, so that way if you want to come back to it and watch it to hear the information again, if you hear the information today and you think, hey, I have some friends that might really enjoy this program, you can talk with them about it. They can come over and watch it with you. So we'll make sure that we get all of that information to you. So we're going to just jump right in and start talking about specialized foster care and what that looks like. So in order to be a specialized foster care parent, we do ask that you be 21 years old. We want you to be able to stay at home as a professional parent. And so what that means is, as a specialized foster care parent, your role really is to just be a professional parent. That means we are going to pay you to be a professional parent and care for individuals that are placed in your home. We do have some exceptions for folks that want to maintain some outside employment. Those are all on a case-by-case basis. So if you think, oh, I really love my job, but I'm really interested in this, then go ahead and talk to us about it, because we can talk with you about whether or not we think that we can make that work. You do have to do some of those pesky things like background checks, fingerprints. We want to make sure that the folks working with our individuals don't have concerning criminal backgrounds. That being said, we can work with a lot of things. So if you do have some history where you maybe were arrested for something, again, don't let that hold you back from at least talking to us, because there are lots of things that we can work with. Another part of becoming a specialized foster care parent is that you do go through some training. So whenever you're working with individuals with developmental disabilities, we want to make sure that you are really prepared, that you feel like you have the tools in your tool belt to go out and to care for these individuals that come into your home and to meet the needs that they have. And so we do that through training, and we're going to talk a little bit more about training later in the presentation. We also have some requirements regarding sleeping arrangements. So for SFC, we do ask that you have an individual bedroom that is available for each person served through SFC. So SFC serves individuals 3 on up. Unlike what you might consider traditional foster care, who usually serve children ages 0 to 17, our program doesn't stop whenever people turn 18. We have adults that live in specialized foster care homes. And so whenever you think about, as an adult, you wanted to have your own room. So we want to make sure that our individuals have their own room, have their own space as well. And then the last big requirement to becoming a specialized foster care parent is being willing to participate in a home profile. And again, that's something else we're going to dig a little deeper into later in the presentation. I am struggling to get there we go, sorry. Oh, our home profile is next. So if you aren't familiar with the home profile or a home study, what it is, it's really just a story about you and your family. So we come out, we talk to you, we ask some questions. We do that both through interviews as well as through some survey questions that we have you complete some questionnaires. We talk with everybody that lives in the home. So that is all adults in the home, the children in the home, anyone that may be there is who we are going to talk to as part of this home profile process. And like I said, it really is just a story about you and your family, about how you were raised, about how you parent, if you've parented before, about how you're currently parenting your own children, about your familiarity with resources in the community and how comfortable you are with contacting them. And what this does for us is it gives us an idea about what strengths you bring to the table as a specialized foster care parent. So we can look at that profile and say, oh man, Barbara, she spent 3 years as a direct care staff and has already worked with individuals with a disability. And so she might be a really good fit. Or, John, he's worked as a teacher, he's worked with special ed students, he's worked with kiddos that have been on IEPs. So he may be ready and willing to jump into this because he knows a little bit more about the population that we work with. So it gives us an idea of the strengths. It also will show us if there's any additional areas that maybe you need some training about, right? If we're stepping into something we haven't done before, then training can always help us out. And so we want to make sure, like I said earlier, that you are fully trained, that you are ready to step into this new role. The other piece of our home profile is that it pulls together a lot of information that we're gathering about you. So some of that information will be a financial statement. It will be a medical exam for those that live in the home. We do references, and we put all of that information in that home profile as well. So at the end of the home profile, we have a really great picture of what you and your family look like. So, a few key attributes that we want to go over. If you're considering being a specialized foster care parent, or maybe you're already thinking of some other people that might be interested in this role, is we are looking for individuals that are caring. Obviously, the name of the game is foster care, right? And so we want to make sure that we have individuals that really care about others, that care about making a positive impact, that care about taking care of those individuals that are placed in their home. So that's what we're looking for. We're also looking for individuals that are compassionate. So by the nature of our program, these are individuals who couldn't stay in their own home for whatever reason. And so they need someone else to open up their home, to be compassionate towards them and say, you can come and you can stay with us, and we're going to make you a part of our family. We also look for folks that are flexible. And so this is for a few reasons. We have individuals in our DDS program who have doctor's appointments, who have speech appointments, physical therapy appointments, different things like that. So sometimes there are appointments that you have to go to. We also have, imagine working with, kids whenever they're younger. Every day is not the same, right? And it's still the same with the folks that we work with. Every day doesn't look the same. So we have to be flexible in our plans, our scheduling. We need to make sure that we're ready to adjust our plans in order to care for that individual and make sure that they get their needs met. So we're looking for folks that have that ability to adjust whenever the need arises. We're also really looking for folks that are going to be strong advocates. And so, as a specialized foster care parent, that is one of your roles, is to advocate for the individual that's placed in your home. And that could be for just about anything. It can be that maybe they need some of that physical therapy. It could mean that maybe they need some additional help as we're getting them set up with a job. And so they need a job coach. It could be just getting them out in the community. We talk a lot about that. We want the individuals that are in our specialized foster care homes to be out in the community and a part of the community. So we're really looking for folks that understand that role as well and are willing to step up and advocate for them. And then lastly, one of the other things is we just want folks that are welcoming. You are considering opening up your home to an individual with developmental disabilities. And so you are already thinking about that. That means you already are having those thoughts. You're looking for how can I get involved? And then I want to maybe welcome someone into my home. And so that's what we're looking for, are folks that are willing to open their home and make someone else a part of their family. That is always our goal with our individuals that we serve, is that they become a part of the family that they are living in. So you may be thinking, what does a typical day look like if I'm a specialized foster care parent? And it really looks just like any other day for any other person. So you're going to get up, you're going to get ready for school or for work, you're going to help that individual do the same thing, make sure they have their breakfast, everything that they need to go out and be successful for the day. Um, they may be an individual that stays at home. And so, again, maybe you're just getting them ready to go out with you into that community. Next, we're going to talk about maybe they have those appointments that we mentioned earlier. So, I might take them to a doctor's appointment or physical therapy, something like that. Um, it can also be that I'm interacting with that person as a member of my family. So I'm including them whenever we're making lunch, whenever we're making dinner, whenever we're having family movie night. I'm making that person feel like they are a part of my family. And I have to tell you, um, having worked in this field for a while now, really that's what a lot of our specialized foster care parents talk about, is that this individual, they may have come to my home a few years ago, and I didn't know them. They were a stranger then, but this is now my cousin. This is now my daughter, my sister. And they really do become a part of your family. And that is one of our goals. We want to make sure that the individuals placed in our specialized foster care homes do become a part of your family. And then we also want to make sure that they are part of the community. So if part of your regular day is, I'm going to go to the recreation center and I'm going to go walk around the track, or I'm going to go swimming, that individual can come with you. It may be that I'm going to something downtown. I'm going to go see a movie. I'm going to go do some shopping, anything like that. If it's something that you would do in your community, then we want you to take those individuals with you. So that way they also become a part of your community as well. So I mentioned earlier, training is something that is a requirement. So we have a couple different types of training. We have online training, which is really the bulk of our training. It is done through something called the College of Direct Supports. Whenever you get signed up, you start going through that application process with us. We will get you enrolled, and then you are able to go online and do that training at your own pace. It gives you that opportunity, if you can do some in the morning, in the evening, whatever it looks like for you. So you're able to do the majority of our training online. Then we do have a few pieces of training that are in person. And again, this is really to make sure that you feel equipped to take care of someone else. So we do have you go through CPR and first aid, which is completed annually. We want to make sure that you are consistently up to date on those skills. And we also have you go through something called medication administration training, or DD-MAT. This is completed every 2 years. And this is a training that you go through, and they walk you through how to give medication to someone else. If you haven't ever done that, it can seem a little scary and intimidating, but having just gone through this course not too long ago, I can tell you the trainer is great. They make sure that you feel comfortable, that you feel competent. And so that's what we want you to walk away with. So that way, if an individual in your home does require medication, you feel ready to give them that medication. And then lastly, there can be some specific individual training as needed. So we have some individuals that have some very specialized needs. One of them that comes up frequently will be individuals that require a feeding tube in order to receive nutrition. And so we're not just going to drop someone off at your home and leave you there not knowing how to make sure that they get the nutrition that they need. But that could be a specific type training that you could do for an individual that's placed in your home. So now I'm sure you've been wondering, since I said at the beginning, we want you to be a professional parent, and you're thinking, well, how can I be a professional parent? How much are you going to be able to pay me to do this job, right? So we wanted to talk about that a little bit. So our daily rate right now is $70.20. You also receive a $570 a month room and board payment that is separate from that 70/20. So combined on average per month, it's around 2676. So that kind of gives you an idea about what that take home looks like. A few things we do want you to know about. Because this is a service that we are paying you for, there aren't taxes taken out of it or things like that. Like when we say 2676, that will be around what you will get each month. And so you have to keep in mind that this is very similar to being self-employed. So you'll have to make sure that you are keeping in mind, am I paying my taxes on time? Am I paying into Social Security? That type of thing. If you plan to have those benefits whenever you are older. And so that's where we talk here about responsible for that long-term financial planning. We just want to make sure that you are aware of that kind of going in, so that way you can make those arrangements, as you are a specialized foster care parent. So a couple of benefits if you decide to be an SFC parent is that we do offer 720 hours annually of respite. If you aren't familiar with the term respite, it really just means a break. And so for our SFC parents, this means that we offer the 720 hours, which equals about 30 calendar days of a break for you, so that way you can also take care of yourself. If any of you have ever provided care for someone else, a family member, loved one, you know that it can be exhausting and you have to take care of yourself as well. And so we recognize that. And that's why we've been able to figure out how to do that 30 days or 720 hours annually of respite. You also receive up to 60 calendar days per year of therapeutic leave. And so this could be, let's say we have an individual that's in your home that's going to go visit their own family for a week during the summer. Therapeutic leave allows you to be paid while that individual is visiting their family. So there are only a few things that count for therapeutic leave. Visits with family is one. A vacation that the family is not going on, but the individual is going on, or hospitalizations. But we want to make sure that that individual still has a home to come back to, and that you're able to maintain in the meantime while that individual is gone, so you don't lose payment for those days. And then also you are reimbursed for transportation when you're transporting the individual. And so this means I'm taking them to those doctor's appointments, get reimbursed. I'm taking them to community activities that they specifically have identified they want to do. You can get reimbursed. So we try to help out with that as well. So that way you are reimbursed for that transportation that you are providing. So I've talked a lot about specialized foster care parents, and really how that is our full-time, day in and day out role that we are recruiting for right now. But we are also looking for respite providers. So if you've been listening to this presentation and you were thinking, I'm really interested in this, but I don't know if I can do it full-time right now. I don't know that I can give up my full-time job in order to do this. I don't know that I would just be able to provide that level of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If that's you, we have another opportunity for you, and that is to be a respite provider. So we talked a little bit about how we offer respite for our families so they can get a break. You could be that person that says, someone can come to my house for the weekend. Then the individual would come to your house. You're reimbursed for, or you're paid, I'm sorry, for providing respite care. And you've also given another foster parent a break. So to be a respite provider, You do have to be a fully approved specialized foster care home. So all those requirements that we've talked about, you do have to meet those requirements, but then you are able to determine how often you provide respite. So you may say, once a month, that's maybe my limit right now. Or you may say, every weekend I could do it. I don't mind. We have families that would love to be able to have someone that they can count on for respite on a consistent basis. So there's lots of opportunities whenever it does come to respite, and what that looks like. And ideally, we would love for you to get connected with a couple of families. You get to know them, you get to know the individuals in their home. And when they come to stay with you, it's just kind of like a fun weekend with my aunt or with my sister, something like that, that they get to know you as well. So we definitely are looking for respite providers if you feel like, I don't know if I can go full on foster parent right now. This is another option for you to consider. If you do provide respite, the daily payment rate for respite is $98.80. So if you had someone that stayed in your home for a couple days over the weekend, then you would be reimbursed around $200. Okay, so that was actually a skosh shorter than I thought. But we have kind of reached the end of the presentation portion. We will open it up for questions, but before we do that, I do want to let you know that the email address that's listed here, the presentation, everything will be emailed to you after we are done today. So that way, if you're trying to jot down this dds.sfc.ac email, you don't have to stress about it. Ryan even just dropped it in the chat for you so you can see it. But that's how you can get in touch with us. That email comes to a box that myself, my supervisor, we check all the time. We're real responsive to get back to you. So if you have additional questions, we definitely want you to feel comfortable reaching out to us. And like I said, they're going to send all of this information to you, including the presentation afterwards. So if you have questions, if you want to go ahead and type them in the chat, then Ryan is watching that chat for us, and he will tell us if we have some.
There are none yet, but if anybody has a question, please feel free to drop it in there or raise your hand or unmute yourself, whatever. Oh, I see one being typed right now. Great job, Lindsay.
This is Shelley. I was going to ask, we are a current foster home already, and this is something that we have looked into because we take specialized children, not through DSS or anything, but through the foster care program. We actually have a special needs child of our own, so we feel very comfortable. I'm a nurse. My husband is a physical therapist assistant, so we just feel like that's where our calling is supposed to be, or for our children that are harder to place. So my question is, if we to be a respite home, can you still be a traditional home also, or do I have to give that up in order to be a respite home for for the specialized?
Shelley, that is a great question. And I'm already thinking I'm going to win you over to this side, because we need some families that have some of that kind of training like you talked about. But we have partnered really strongly with child welfare and their foster care program, which is what I'm assuming you're a part of now. We've partnered really well with them to try to work together if we have people that are interested. And so what I would tell you is that let's talk. You can either reach out to this email. You could let your foster care worker know that you attended this and you have some questions, and they can reach out to us. But I always say, let's look at it and see if it's an option. If we could get you open to do respite, even on, like I said, one weekend a month, we are open to that. We need homes that are able and willing to do that. So if you are interested, then let's get connected and we will see what we can find out and see if that's a possibility.
Okay, that sounds really good because I work from home, and so like this is just what my passion is. I mean, I just know that these are the children and the young adults and teenagers that need homes, and they're very, very hard. My other question is like currently right now, do y'all have like children or even just individuals that are waiting for homes? Or are they normally all placed somewhere?
So, yes, just like I'm sure that you're used to hearing with traditional foster care and the number of children that need placement, we also have individuals that need placement. And one thing that I want to make sure folks understand too is that the majority of the individuals that we serve that are under 18 are children in child welfare custody. And so, kind of like what you mentioned, Shelley, you may have some kiddos that could possibly qualify for DDS services that are in your home, that are in child welfare custody. So we are always looking for homes to help out there because that's where we have a need. But we also have a need for just individuals. We have folks that maybe have lived with their parent, and now their parent's unable to care for them anymore, and so they need to move into a specialized foster care home. And so again, it kind of runs that age 3 all the way up. And I would say a few of the pieces that we had out with our media to let people know about this webinar, we were kind of talking about that 100 is around our number that we have that's waiting right now for that need a placement of some kind.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, Shelley, if you don't mind putting in the chat, and Ryan can see it, and I can check with him who your foster care worker is. And if you are with DHS or one of the agencies, that will help me kind of know how to start navigating, connecting with you about possibly having y'all as a dual approval.
Do we have any other questions?
I have a question. Hello?
Hello. Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I was recently a paraprofessional for our school system, and I still am a para. I'm passionate about it, and I was wondering more on how I could help, maybe with the how did you say, what was the word you used? Like the temporary,
The respite?
the respite, yes, but even I don't know, more in like childcare, I guess, for special needs.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. So I'm going to give you kind of a two-pronged answer here.
Okay.
If you are interested in finding out more about, being a respite home and kind of providing that respite on the weekends, or since you said you're a para, maybe, during breaks, during summer break, maybe you might be a little more active, then I would definitely say reach out to us and let us know, and we can talk with you about that and what that might look like. And then as far as childcare for the special needs, that sort of thing, that doesn't really fall under our purview, but I do have someone over with childcare licensing that we could get you connected with if that's something that you're thinking about maybe branching out into and doing.
Absolutely. I find that there's a real need for it's like specialized childcare, basically, and
Yes,
it's a hard thing.
Yes, definitely. We have a huge need for that for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
I can answer that a little bit. You can try to work for like special care. They have that. Have you heard of that?
No, I'm not real familiar with it.
It's a special needs. It's mostly special needs childcare.
Okay.
And it's just a regular childcare. They also have typical children that go there as well. It's I don't remember what address it is or like where it is, but it's like like a mile from my house. But I think it's on like May or something. But
Okay, so I'm in rural Oklahoma, and
Oh,
there are like child care places, but for special needs, I know that it's a different thing. So
yeah.
it's hard.
If you're not in Oklahoma City, then I don't know. But I was just gonna give you that option.
Okay, thank you.
I have one really quick question. The first thing to do is just to fill out an application, right?
Yeah, so the really the very first thing to do would be to let us know that you are interested. And probably the best way to do that is to email us at that dds.ssc.ac at okdhs.org. And that will get one of us on our team in touch with you to kind of like talk you through, kind of again, just the process, ask you a few questions, and then get you that information to do the background checks, the application, and things like that. So really that first
Okay.
step would be just to touch base with us.
Okay.
These are some great questions. Anyone else have any? Or you're all frantically emailing us to say, I'm interested in specialized foster care. That's what I'm hoping.
And I know we had somebody just join us, so just so they're not confused, we will send out the full recording of this. And if you have any questions, that email address that's right there, or you can type in chat right now while we're all still here. But we'll make sure we get you the
You're
information.
sending all of this to us, right? The email and everything you said?
Yep, correct.
Okay.
And I would say one of the, intent of having this webinar really is to get the word out. Not a lot of folks have heard of specialized foster care before. Most people are familiar with foster care in general, and this is, a little bit different. So we really just want to get the word out because families don't know that there's a need for folks to provide specialized foster care. And so if you today think after you've been to this webinar, Lindsay, I'm not sure, sounds nice, but I don't know if it's for me. Think about who around you might be interested in specialized foster care. Even if it's just something that they want to do kind of that part-time, that respite, finding a break, we are always welcome for homes to come on to provide respite. And ideally, we hope that a lot of those respite homes after a while may turn into a full-time home. That would be wonderful. But if you think of someone that might be interested in specialized foster care, then pass this information on. Let them give them the email address and everything. They can reach out to us. We are more than happy to talk about it with anyone that's interested, even if they decide it's not right for me right now, because that could look a little different 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line. So we love being able to just share about our program, the need that we have, and really just the opportunity that you have to make a difference with the individuals that we serve.
Can you give examples of like the type of individuals that are typically placed in the homes? Because I know like with enhanced foster care through um, traditional foster care, a lot of those are behaviorals, and those are children that have been like inpatient that they're needing to get out that may not be necessarily the best fit for some families. Do a lot of your individuals, do they have like anger outbursts, and are they physically like aggressive, those kind of things?
So I think that's an excellent question, Shelley. And knowing how you're familiar with that enhanced foster care and what that looks like, you just gave a great description of a lot of the kiddos that are involved with enhanced foster care. So our specialized foster care looks a little bit different. So I don't even know if I said this, so I apologize, but to be in a specialized foster care home, the individual has to be eligible for DDS services. And so that means they have to meet our criteria as far as, psychological evaluations, IQ, different things like that. So, working with individuals with developmental disabilities, we do have some that have some of those same behavior issues and some of those same struggles. And I would say some of the kiddos that come over also have some of those same struggles because they've been through trauma. But a lot of times it does look different. They may not have as many of those behavior issues. They just need some more help with getting some of those daily living skills, things like that done. They may need, more reminders. They may need reminders to, use shampoo in the shower, things that we kind of take for granted because they just, function at a little bit of a lower level. So we definitely have individuals that have those type of needs that are, some of those just day-to-day things versus the behavioral. We do have some individuals with some behavioral needs, but that isn't every single one in DDS, as opposed to when you think about like enhanced foster care, like you said. We also have some individuals that will have medical needs that have some type of developmental disability, but then also have some type of medical need. I would say that having individuals that have some of those appointments, like the physical therapy or maybe speech therapy, like those are fairly common. We have individuals that have the feeding tubes and things like that. So we do have some with some medical needs, as well as some that are more medically complex that maybe have mobility issues. They may be in wheelchairs or different things like that. And then we also have individuals who, they are going to school, they've graduated high school, they're out there, they have their job and their job coach, and just really need some place to call home and check on them, make sure, like that they're doing well, that they're kind of getting those daily living pieces accomplished each day. So we serve it's a very wide variety of people that we work with a wide variety of needs. So they don't all look like our kiddos in child welfare and enhanced foster care. They don't all look like that, but we do have some that certainly still fall into that category.
We have any more questions? I think that may be it. Great job, Lindsay.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to do this, just to listen to what we have to say about specialized foster care. And as we mentioned, Ryan's going to send all this information out to everyone that got registered. We know we've seen that people have had a few issues with the registration. So if that was you, don't worry. Ryan's going to get all of this info sent out. And after you look at it again, after you digest it a little bit, after you decide, yes, this is what I want to do, please reach out to us, email us at the email address, and we are more than happy to get someone to reach out to you, even if you just have additional questions. Maybe you will think of some later today or tomorrow. We are happy to answer any questions that you have. So reach out, touch base with us, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And keep an eye out for everything in your emails from Ryan. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.